Hi everyone. Okay, trying for the fourth time to do a numerology and Kabbalah reading on Peter Buttigieg. And I've been actually, in the meantime, between takes, I guess we could call it, I've actually been looking at some videos on him. I actually saw him being interviewed on PBS. I was very impressed with him. I watched a TED Talk on him, and I was just watching an interview on him at Politics and Prose, which is a bookstore in Washington that I have to visit when I go visit my goddaughter. Um, anyhow, so this guy is young, but he is smart, man. This guy is smart, and he is the first openly gay mayor of a major city with more than 100,000 people. He was in the Navy Reserve, and he went to, I believe it was Afghanistan. He did Navy intelligence in Afghanistan, and on his way back, I think that's when he decided to come out as gay. And then he was reelected with 80% of the vote to his city. So it didn't seem to matter to anybody there. Um, and I think that's true of most people. Is, if you're doing a good job, you're doing what you say you're going to do. If you're a good person, it doesn't matter your sexual orientation or who you choose to love. So that's pretty cool. So he was born in South Bend. Both parents were, I think, English teachers. His father is an immigrant from Malta. His mother was from Indiana, I believe. Um, no, he said she was an army brat. She was, I think, born in El Paso. Um, but this is the American story, right? And he's young. He's only let's see, he was born in '82, so he's only he just turned 37. So he would be the youngest, I believe, president, and he would also be the first openly gay president. And he is the mayor of South Bend, Indiana. So he's not a governor, but he's a mayor. And yeah, so listening to him, this is a very, very bright guy. So let's look a little bit into his numerology and Kabbalah. As far as his political leanings, I believe he's um, on the progressive side, but perhaps not super progressive. No, wait a minute. I think. Hold on one second. I don't want to say that. Um, um, I'll tell you right now. Okay. Let me just see. Because. Oh, yes. Okay, so he was born in South Bend to Jennifer Ann Montgomery and Joseph Buttigieg, both professors at the University of Notre Dame. His father was a Maltese immigrant and his mother was a many generation Hoosier. Buttigieg graduated from St. Joseph High in 2000, where he was president and valedictorian of his senior class. His senior high school, he was honored by Caroline Kennedy and other members of President Kennedy's family during a May 22nd, 2000 ceremony at the John F. Kennedy Library in Boston, Massachusetts, for his prize winning essay for the JFK Profiles in Courage essay contest. Buttigieg's winning essay centered on the integrity and political courage demonstrated by then U.S. Congressman Bernie Sanders of Vermont, one of the two independent members of Congress. He was also selected as one of Indiana's delegates to the United States Senate Youth Program. He attended Harvard College. He was classmates with Zuckerberg, interestingly enough, where he was president of the Harvard Institute of Politics and Student Advisory Committee and worked on the Institute's annual study of youth attitudes on politics. Buttigieg was also a member of Phi Beta Kappa. He graduated magna cum laude with a Bachelor of Arts degree in History and Literature, writing his thesis on the influence of Puritanism on U.S. foreign policy. He received first-class honors degree in philosophy, politics, and economics in 2007 from Pembroke College, Oxford, where he was a Rhodes Scholar. So we're talking about a really, really Smart guy here. And he's very, very likable. Okay. So let's look at Pete, Mayor Pete, as he's called. Peter Paul Montgomery Buttigieg. Sorry about that, Mayor Pete. He has a pretty long name, so if we add up his vowels, his soul vibration, that is the inner self, we come up with a 64/1 vibration. So a one soul is somebody who is unique, somebody who is willing to take chances, somebody who's willing to and is comfortable with being the first of something. And so certainly he has a lot of that in his curriculum vitae, right? The first. The 64/1 is a Gemini vibration. Now let me pull up his chart. I do not have an accurate time for Pete, but we can still get an awful lot of information from his chart. I did a noon chart. If anyone has his information, please feel free to let me know. That would be great. I don't know why these guys don't put it out there because it would be very helpful. Anywho, so he is. Let's see. He is he was born on the 19th of January, 1982. He has a sun in Capricorn, so this is a serious guy. Let's see if he has any Gemini specifically in his chart. No, I don't see anything specifically in Gemini. The 64/1 vibration, the soul vibration, is this card right here. Okay. The Ten of Swords. Kind of a challenging vibration, you might think. When you get this in a card reading, it's a little scary. But there's something about this. There's a lot of hope in this card, in that this is the end of something old, something that no longer is of use, is gone, and yet behind it we have the dawn. And so this is about restoration or a rebirth. This is a card of rebirth. And the thing I watched on his TED Talk was about taking that which South Bend already had, that had areas of South Bend that had value, but not the original value that it had, like the train station. There was no longer passenger trains to South Bend, so the train station, although it was a beautiful building, was not useful anymore. And so what did that train station have? And so he's taken what is already there and built upon it, and sort of, it's like a restoration. And this is really what this card is about, restoration, and it's so deep for this guy. Okay, so his outer personality, or his masculine vibration, the outer masculine, this is the Pete you might meet. I like that, is the 16/7 card. Okay, this is the Tower card, another kind of scary card. This is a really nice guy. He's got some scary cards. This is about having to be who you are. This is about not having facades. And so he had to choose to be true to himself. The 7 as a base vibration of the 16/7 is about self-knowledge. And you have to know who you are with this vibration. It's very important to have to know who you are on the inside with this, because you will have challenges. You'll have challenges to your persona. You'll have challenges to who you are, in a way. This is on the Tree of Life. Can you see this? I put this Tree of Life in the wrong place. It's really too low for you to see. Okay. So on the Tree of Life, this vibration is located here, associated with the solar plexus. It's actually on a path between the Sephiroth of Mercury, which is Hod, and the Sephiroth of Venus, which is Netzach. And so it's what's of value to you and your mind, okay? And so it connects that. And this is about really knowing your own worth, knowing who you are, and having the will, the personal will to do what it is that you need to do, okay? So that is his quiescent. So this is a talent that he has. You also have an internal bullshit detector with this. So that comes in handy in politics. If we add those two numbers up together, we get his expression vibration. His expression vibration is how he finds balance between the inner and outer self. And when we add it up, we get a 17/8 vibration. And so this is the star vibration. I believe this was Beto O'Rourke's expression as well. It was. And so this is about being inspired and being inspiring. And it's about having a guiding star. It's about having a goal. And the goal has to be bigger than you. It has to be beyond your ego. It has to be connected to sort of more heavenly, in a way, more heavenly things. This is also the Aquarius vibration. This card is associated with Aquarius. And so there's an energy of working toward the common good, which of course, as the mayor of a city, we know that that's a big, I mean, who's going to take on that job unless they're concerned with the common good? Okay, that's not true of the presidency necessarily, but it's true if you're the mayor of a city. Okay, Cory Booker was also the mayor of a city. All right, so I don't know if he had 17/8, though. I don't think he did. All right, so those are his vibrations, inner and outer self, and how he finds balance. His life lesson is what he's come here to learn. And his life lesson is a 40/4 vibration, which is this card right here. So the Page of Cups is about emotional intelligence. It's about feeling your feelings. It's associated with the sign of Pisces. And he does not have any Pisces in his chart, his astrological chart. I mean, he could have a Pisces ascendant. I don't know because we don't know what time he was born. So he could have a Pisces MC. I don't know because we don't know what time he was born. But he doesn't have any planets or major asteroids in Pisces. This is a 4, and it's about building. It's also about crisis. And so this is somebody who's good in a crisis. This is somebody who has to practice healthy boundaries in his relationships. It's a Pisces vibration. Sometimes Pisces, think the best of everybody and get shat upon because of it. So that's something he may have had to learn through his life or has to learn through his life. But there's an innocence here, but there's also a wisdom. Fish, whenever you see a fish in a card, it's a symbol of wisdom. And I always sort of look at the page, even though it's a page and it's young, and he's young, he'd be young, right? If he won, the youngest president. There's something about being young and understanding your feelings. It's when we get older that we seem to have trouble with. In fact, in the tarot deck, the King of Cups has much more issue with his feelings than the page. Because the page there's more of a purity to the page. Because it's the beginning of. And when you get to the King, there's been so much life and so many concessions that you've had to make that sometimes you don't look at the feeling. But this is about feeling your feelings. It is his path of life. This is actually Trump's path of life as well. It's a building vibration, and it's found in Malkuth. And when you have where his soul, not Trump's, his soul, Pete's soul is found, when you have things in Malkuth, you're famous. Okay, you also have a lot of. It's the place of victim or victimizer. So they understand that dynamic. They can become a victimizer in the case of Trump, or they can understand what it feels like to sort of be out of the loop and not exactly accepted and the pain that engenders. So this is a guy who's feeling those feelings and learning how to cope with them and how to work with them and how to have them work for him. Okay, so let's look at his shadow, because your shadow is the wound, and sometimes it's not what we don't necessarily see it, and it can trip us up. It's sort of the thing that sort of brings us away from our center. And he has a 4711 vibration as his shadow. We get that from adding Peter, which is a 28, to the 19 of his day of birth. We get a 4711, and that's this vibration here. Okay, this is the 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups can be some confusion, obfuscation. Because it's an 11, it's about relationships. And it's located on the Tree of Life in Netzach, right here. Netzach is associated with the planet Venus. It's also connected to the solar plexus. So I tend to think, because he seems so accomplished, that he has done some healing on this already. Okay, he has done some healing on this, and that healing could have actually happened when he came out, because Venus is about loving yourself and being, and being who you are, right? So let me just see where his Venus is in his chart. He has Venus in Aquarius. He also has Mercury in Aquarius. Oh, that's interesting, because his expression is an Aquarian vibration. And so his mind, Aquarius, he thinks about other people, he thinks about the common good. Venus, what he values the common good, he values technology. He's talking all about data and technology. Those are things that are important. He's hooked into the vibration and the interconnections that we have. There can be trauma with Aquarius as well, and so that's something we just do have to take into consideration with him. But I don't think that it's going to affect his ability to be a good president or governor or mayor or person, for that matter. This is, I think, a more of a personal challenge for him, and finding relationships where he's not so attached, because there can be attachment with this. Sometimes you can choose relationships that are not healthy for you, with that vibration as a shadow. Although he does have a husband, I believe, so he did get married to the man that he's with, and there's a commitment there. But that's more of a personal thing, and I don't know anything about it, nor would I even attempt to pry. What I would say is that it's important that he loves himself as well as humanity, because humanity is easy for him. His self-love might be a little bit more challenging. He's a Capricorn, so Capricorns can kind of squash their own needs sometimes for their sense of responsibility, which can sometimes be too much with Capricorn. What else does he have in Capricorn? He's got his South Node in Capricorn. So in this lifetime, he's got his North Node in Cancer. He's here to learn how to feel. And that's probably what these cards are about, his need to learn how to feel. Again, a more of a personal journey than a journey that we might see. We're going to see the Capricorn. We're going to see the Aquarius. That other stuff, I think, is something that he keeps close to himself. Remember, he's a one soul, so he's not going to, and a 7 outer personality, you're not going to know about this. When you have a 7 outer personality, you're a little bit of a mystery, wrapped up in an enigma. If we remember Robert Mueller, he was a double 7. You weren't going to find out nothing. These are people that keep things close to the vest, so to speak. And of course, with all that Capricorn energy that he has, it kind of makes sense. All right, so he is right now on this line here. He's in a 18-9 vibration. The 18-9 vibration is the it's the moon vibration. It's associated with Pisces. And in the 18-9, you have to learn that you can't save people. They have to save themselves. That's the lesson in the 18-9, among others. And so that's a lesson. And then at 45, his first name ends, and then he moves on to his second name of Paul. So the 18-9 is also, the 9 is about compassion, unconditional love, and forgiveness. Forgiveness of self and others. So that's something else he's going to be learning through this process. His power square, which runs from age 27 to age 54, is a 58/4. That is often seen in people who feel like sort of like they don't fit in, or they're an outsider. There's sort of an outsider vibe to that. And there's a benefit to being an outsider, because you have a perspective that when you're in the middle of stuff, you can't see. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think when you're an outsider, you see more potential in situations than people who are ensconced in whatever it is that they're in. It's also a 4 vibration, so it's about a building vibration, and it is connected to Jupiter. This vibration is connected to Jupiter, and his Jupiter is in Scorpio, and it is conjunct Ceres. So Jupiter in Scorpio is deep, probing. Ceres is emotional. This guy has deep, deep emotions. Deep emotions, yeah. Oh, let's see. So when he's running for president, when 2020 comes along, he will be in a 6 vibration, 24/6 vibration. Oh, you can't see this. Sorry. Sorry about that. Take my word for it. It'd be easier. Be in a 6 vibration in a 14-5 period. 14-5 is temperance. 6 is community and responsibility. Now, I'll just say this. I like this guy. I think he's got a bright future. And one of the things that I've been most impressed with going over these candidates is they are so smart. I mean, and just so poised and at ease. Even when I look at somebody like AOC, there's just so much there, or Ilhan. There's just so much there. There's just so much understanding and depth for people who are relatively young, and it's really good to see. Yeah, because it seems like some of the older people, you know who I'm talking about, Trump and all his minions, the older guys, they just seem so like, I don't know, not with it. And these guys are with it, and it's great to see. There's great future, there's great hope for the future with these people in positions of power, and people who I think really are doing it for the right reasons and not just for ego strokes or to make money, and they're going to be part of the change that creates change in the whole structure of how these things go. And I think that I'm hopeful. So all right, so that's what I want to say about Pete. Will he win? I think it's good to have him in the dialogue and in the conversation. These people have a lot of good ideas that are going to help us on many levels. So keep your mind open and your heart. Have a great day. If you enjoy these videos, like and subscribe. If you would like a reading like this for yourself, I can do that. I do personal readings. Just contact me at my website, theseedsoftransformation.com, or you can email me. I think you can get that information off YouTube. Either way, I will answer you, and we can do this for you. Have a great day, and we'll see who wins. Take care. Bye.